I'm Algenon Cash, and you're locked in. Welcome back to the show. As we get ready to close out the year, a lot of families are already thinking ahead about resetting routines, getting healthier, and creating a little more balance. And nobody feels that pressure more than moms, the backbone of our households, the schedulers, the chauffeurs, the chefs, the therapists, and somehow still expected to keep everybody hydrated, fed, and functioning. Today, we're highlighting a woman-owned company called Momsanity. They've been getting national attention. You may have seen their recent appearance on Fox and Friends, and they're bringing a very simple message. Wellness doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be practical, affordable, and designed for real life. We'll talk about their American-made product lineup, Mom Fuel, Crave, and their electrolyte blend, and learn how moms can make small New Year adjustments without adding more stress. Let's lock in. Ladies, thank y'all for locking in with me.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us, Algenon.
And Emily, you're an old friend, so you've been on the show before. It's been a little while, but my audience may recognize you. And you've also had me on your show as well, so we'll make sure we plug that in addition. But Debbie, you're a new friend. Why don't you tell my audience a little bit about you and maybe just kick a little bit into what Mom Sanity is all about?
Yeah, so I am a crazy mom of four boys. I am a remarried widow. And so I definitely feel the craziness that all moms can relate to, which was, when Emily dreamed up Mom Sanity over a dozen years ago, it was the perfect timing because we were both in the throes of the insanity of motherhood. And ever since then, Momsanity has been a blessing to the two of us, but really, I think also those that have connected with us. So it's been a really fun adventure so far.
That's pretty cool. And Emily, for my audience that may not recall who you are, maybe give us a quick introduction and how did you come up with Mom Sanity?
Sure. Well, I am a mom of five now, and which is wild to stay still, even though my youngest is over two. But I have four boys, ages 13 down to seven, and then our surprise baby girl, Naomi Jane, is two. And Mom Sanity really became a dream, I would say, when I was a brand new mom to my oldest son, and God was really calling me out of my corporate role. I just couldn't fathom going back to an office full time hours, more than full time hours, and managing a team and, having to really have that be my primary priority. And I tried to be a stay at home mom, and it lasted about a week without having anything else on my plate. And Wiggy, actually, my husband, Dr. Wiggy, he really encouraged me to think about some of these. I had been in fitness and nutrition for probably 5, 7 years by then, and it was really my passion. And he was like, "Listen, you love moms, you're looking for these things to bring faith and fitness and nutrition together, and telling me there's nothing out there for moms. Like, why don't you just try it and do it?" And so Debbie and I met over a lunch. As she mentioned, she was newly widowed, and we just kind of started dreaming and putting our heads together. And here we are, about 13 years later, almost. And it's just been, we've evolved and grown and changed and scaled. And you talk about the economy all the time. It affects our business just like everybody else's. And so it's been a wild, fun journey. And we're really grateful for the opportunity to be here and really to serve women in those simplistic ways that help them to nourish themselves and their families better.
Well, Emily, thank you for sharing that origin story with my audience. And you've always impressed me with your mindset and your hustle mentality and just willing to get out and make things happen. So, Emily and I had a chance to meet, I think, back during COVID. Maybe you saw some content that I was producing online and we were able to connect. And so I've really enjoyed just witnessing the growth that you've been through, not only business, but also with your family and your expanding family. Mom Sanity is going through some growth. You all just made an appearance on Fox and Friends. I had a chance to watch that clip. For my audience, if you're listening to this, go to my page and I'll make sure we share that clip later on as well if you want to go check out their appearance. I guess, Emily, we'll stay with you. What's been the outcome or the impact from that visit to Fox and Friends? I mean, has the sales been blowing up now or?
I will say we definitely had a huge influx, and gratefully we were excited and expecting that, but we only had about a week's notice before we went on Fox and Friends. So we did not have time to order more inventory. We're so grateful for our suppliers that have been hustling to help us restock after the surge in preparation for Black Friday weekend, because we all know how that goes, and we're here. And so we're nearly restocked on the things that we need to be. And so it was, we did not, we had, I think, 5 days notice or so, maybe a week, that we were going. So there's no time to order more inventory, but it was a really great, really fun. I mean, it was one of the most, it was a highlight of our Momsanity career for sure, to be able to go and share about our women owned, making America healthy again small business. So it was just really a highlight of our years together. And Debbie, you should tell about your what you said about 10 years ago, because
So I had only told Emily. It was never something I would have said out loud or written anywhere, but I just said my dream for Momsanity is to be on morning TV, like on a national level. I think that would be such a bucket list moment. And I remember Emily just responding like, "Oh, really?" It wasn't on her radar. And I just kind of said it in passing, like in my mind, like, of course it will never happen. That's not realistic. And so when all of this very rapidly came to become like, this is going to happen, you all are flying to New York, it was the most wonderful way to be blindsided. So it was such a blessing to have this bucket list moment crossed off.
Well, tell my audience, there may be some other women entrepreneurs in the audience listening to this story and excited for the growth that you all are experiencing, Debbie. How do you get on Fox and Friends? If you got that product, how do you get that type of attention?
God. I think ultimately, I don't think we sought this out. Emily talks about how just an email came in, and we get so many emails. You have to filter through, is this a real person? Is this some kind of spam email? And so I really think just things came together so unexpectedly. I think ultimately just continuing as an entrepreneur to keep showing up, even if you have 5 followers, to just
Mm.
stay true to who you are, have your authentic voice, be yourself. And that way you connect with those who support you and are meant to be part of your tribe. And I think it's just a lot of endurance. I think having your own business is such a game of stamina. And so to always have that mission be significant to you makes you want to keep showing up. And so I think you can probably seek opportunities out. I'm not sure that's the route that we took. It just kind of was like a jackpot moment. So I just am impressed with anyone who can have a small business and just continually have that persistence. So that's not really a great answer.
No, it's a great answer. I often tell my clients and my students and the investors I work with, it all comes down to mindset and having that entrepreneurial mindset. Having the discipline to do the things that other people don't seem to want to do. To be able to get out and take initiative. I mean, these things are very challenging to do. And I think even more incredibly challenging for our women entrepreneurs. And I think that says a lot for the progress and the success that you all are experiencing. You guys stress the fact that you're a woman-owned business, and you also stress the fact that these products, Emily, are made in America. Why is that so important to you all as a brand and concept?
well, I think that, there are so many supplements and nutritional things out there that really kind of focused for so many years on bodybuilding. And gratefully, we're in a whole different season where people are starting, men and women, to see the health and wellness journey more as a, how can I be as healthy as I can be, as strong as I can be, show up for my life the best that I can for as long as possible. And I'm really, really grateful for that change in mindset, because it's this unachievable goal that seems like what women would see, like, oh, I have to be a fitness model or else I'm a mom in sweatpants, and there's no in between. And now I think I'm grateful for a shift in focus to say, oh wow, like I can move my body, I can feed it well, I can be healthy and show up for my family better, not by starving myself and eating my kids leftovers all the time, and just by going, and it always me always being last. Motherhood is incredibly sacrificial, yes, and it should be. However, if we have this mindset that I can never prioritize any of my needs, that's just asking for burnout, and that's absolutely going to affect our health, which ultimately we can't show up for our families as well if we're sick and tired and overweight and all of the things that make us not well. And so, gratefully, I think we're seeing that kind of middle ground now where we don't have to be a fitness model, and we also can prioritize taking care of ourselves. And it actually rubs off on our kids, our spouses, our families, that we can really affect them for the long run as well. And so that answered part of your question, and I forgot the other half because I'm a mom and my brain doesn't work.
Well, hey, burnout is certainly real. I could probably use some mom sanity then if if that's what it
Yeah.
addresses. I think we could all have a healthy dose of it. But let's talk more about the products, Emily. So, Mom Fuel, which is a protein blend that you all
Yeah.
are offering, talk about how that's different than what moms might find somewhere else.
Sure. Well, first of all, I really do think that for the most part, the things that you find in a big box store or in a like a CVS or a pharmacy kind of thing, generally you do get what you pay for when it comes to supplements. And I hate to say that. I know nobody wants to hear that, but it's true. And so we really try to create a lot of value for women. And when you look at the quality of our products, they really are incredibly affordable. And that matters to us a lot because we don't want something that's not accessible to most people. Mom Fuel is a unique protein blend. It blends vegetable collagen, brown rice, and pea protein with completely all natural flavors, colors, sweeteners, and everything. There's no anti-foaming agents, none of that, because that doesn't have to be on a label, but it exists in most things.
Hmm.
And so on top of that, we include collagen, which is great for connective tissue, hair, skin, nails, all the things that help us to age well and women do care about. And you don't have to have five different products. You can just have this one that's a blend of all of them. And so we really want to understand that we have to create convenience for women and moms. If it's not super convenient, then they're not going to do it. And so you can put your scoop of mom fuel in a shaker bottle, shake it up on your way out the door. Or, of course, we like versatile products. So you can bake with it. It bakes beautifully. For example, my kids ate peanut butter banana mom fuel muffins for breakfast. And I made them last night and they ate them today and they'll eat them again tomorrow. And so it's very versatile and delicious because most natural products taste disgusting. And that was our kids have always been our taste testers because they are our worst critics. And if they like something, it's good. And so if we really focus on flavor, quality, affordability, and versatility, we really feel like we have something special.
Well, hey, fellas, just for the fellas that are listening, collagen is not bad for guys either. I actually take collagen. I had someone tell me years ago that that definitely helps with the aging process, and that must be why so many people think I'm still a kid. So yeah, so fellas, some of the things that you're hearing right now, this is not just for your wife, this is not just for mom, this is not just for your aunt. This some of this stuff can be for you as well. Emily, sticking with the products, you talk about cravings is a big thing nowadays. I know that sometimes I get to working and that craving will come in the afternoon. So how does Crave, that product, address some of those hunger cravings that moms have?
Yeah, Crave is a natural cocoa blend. So it is really high quality cocoa powder mixed with some natural sweeteners. And it also has branched chain amino acids in it and MCT powder. All of those things kind of tickle the brain to make it feel very satisfied. So just like when you sip just even coffee as an example, some of that's just that warmth experience. We don't have it. there's no caffeine in Crave, so I need to clarify that. But the experience of that, and then it has this rich flavor that just really satisfies. I always think I'm going to need more than one Crave drink, and I never do, because you just it's just incredibly satisfying because of that blend of ingredients. Not only is it tasty and kind of a little bit filling to the point where it really satisfies the craving, but also those amino acids and the cocoa itself and that MCT blend, all of those really help to balance the brain to leave you in that very just kind of natural, happy state. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's a really beautiful experience that I enjoy every single evening.
All right, moms, put down the Reese's peanut butter cups and
That's
cinnamon
right.
bars and Butterfingers in the afternoon and get you a scoop of Crave. Emily swears by it. Debbie, hydration is a big thing nowadays. And I can tell when I'm not drinking enough water. And I mean, you can feel it all throughout your body. Obviously, there's all types of outcomes that come from lack of hydration. Moms are constantly running around. How do they make sure they stay hydrated?
Well, I am a big fan of always having the biggest water bottle nearby within arm's reach because we are so busy, we become forgetful. And the problem with being dehydrated, in my opinion, is you're going to think you're hungry when really your body is just screaming, I'm just thirsty. Water is wonderful. I think it's way better than sodas and juices. However, to really get that cellular hydration, you just have to take it to another level, which is why we created our electrolytes to really get that true hydration so you can feel replenished, you feel recovered, and have enough energy. And if you're adequately hydrated, you're not going to overeat. You're going to have fewer cravings. So it's great that there's a trickle down effect. We just have to remember add a little bit to your water and you're good to go. Just make sure the water bottle is big enough.
I see people walk around with those gigantic water bottles, and I often wonder how much water does it actually contain? Like, I guess maybe you fill it up in the morning and you're supposed to drink it all by the end of the day. How much water are you supposed to drink in any given day, Debbie?
I think everybody is a little bit different as far as what they need. I'm a big fan of more is better. I would say at least 8 to 12 cups a day. I'm more of a gallon person simply because I'm addicted to water. I'm not saying anybody has to drink a gallon of water, but I am going to say if you're going to get water and you're just having water by itself, it's just going to flush out your system. You're going to be flushing out those minerals that you need. So it's just not enough. However much you're having, it's not going to be adequate and quality without having those electrolytes mixed in. So I'm going to say 8 cups minimum.
I think I've had a half a cup today, so I'm behind schedule here. I
You're close.
gotta
Not
pick it
much
up
more
here this
now.
afternoon. Debbie, let's stick with you. I guess talk a little bit about, with busy households, what are some other nutrition gaps that moms might be looking beyond?
I think Emily touched on it with kind of grabbing kids' leftovers. When moms are on the back burner all the time, thinking like, well, coffee was my breakfast, I'll just have a few bites of the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, it's no wonder that energy is depleted and therefore you do feel insane. And it can be handled very quickly within seconds. It's why we say just make a mom feel smoothie. It will take 60 seconds of your morning. You start your day with high protein so that you are not only full and satisfied, but you do have higher energy so that you can show up for your family, for your workplace, every day's demands. I'm a big fan of setting things up the night before. So if that means pulling out your blender, setting your mom fuel on the counter, I think that Emily and I have talked a lot about your day starts the night before. So
Hmm.
set yourself up for success. Every day will be a circus. Every day somebody's going to be missing their shoes, can't find their homework, you're screaming like a lunatic. So anything that we can do the night before to bring sanity, it helps you to have a better tone for the day. So that's why everything we created is designed with convenience in mind. So that's my biggest thing is like be as organized as possible, knowing it's still going to be pandemonium.
I love that because I think, I started working out a lot more consistently some years ago and I do yoga and cycle and all these kind of things. And I tell you, like every single day, it just happened to me this morning. Every single day, you're tempted to say, well, this is the day I'm not going to go because I'm busy or I need to record my show or I need to read this book or there's something else going on. And Emily, some mornings it's just easier to stop at the McDonald's drive-through or go grab that Chick-fil-A biscuit or whatever it is that's just so convenient. So I love how you all are giving practical advice on how to not only that the products are important and that the health being health conscious, but how does that actually fit into an actual day-to-day busy schedule? Because I think that's where people really where the breakdown often occurs. But Emily, talk about where some of these products are manufactured, and if there's a mom listening to this conversation today that wants to try Crave or Mom Fuel, where do they actually find this stuff?
Absolutely. So that is the second part of your question from earlier. I now remember. We do manufacture everything here in the United States. We are very choosy about who we work with, and we really have just a couple of manufacturers that we work with. Everything is within the United States, as mentioned. And does that make costs higher? Absolutely, it does. However, we're not willing to sacrifice not knowing where our ingredients are coming from and the rigorous screening that happens to make sure that we're delivering on what we say we are when it comes to our products. And so that's incredibly important. We have great relationships with our suppliers because they believe in the same things we do. And there are really, of course, great things about a where we can source things from all over and that sort of thing. However, there's a lot to be said by things that are always up to American standards. And I think that people are fairly aware of that at this point. If you want to try out any of our products, you can head over to shop.mymomsanity.com. So I'll repeat it again because it's a little tricky. Shop.mymomsanity.com is our website. There will be a little pop up when you first visit our site the first time with a one-time coupon. So enjoy that. And then on top of that, all of our products are also sold on Amazon, which I know for some people, that added level of convenience and prime shipping is just, you just can't do better than the next day on your doorstep, right? So you can definitely enjoy our products from Amazon. We are also on Walmart now as well.
Oh, that's pretty big. So Emily, we're heading into a busy season. The holidays are coming. This is when people tend to be the most overwhelmed, especially if you're a mom with kids in the holidays. This is also the season where you're tempted the most to eat and consume the things that you shouldn't perhaps maybe be consuming. What's your advice to a busy mom heading into the holidays?
I would just to piggyback on what Debbie said earlier, if we can just focus on protein and making sure that we're eating, this is kind of goes against the eat every couple of hours, or then we have like this whole, well, no, we should fast all the time. I think for women in the child rearing ages, eating a well-rounded meal with protein prioritized, veggies, fruits, and just real ingredient foods 3 times throughout the day within relatively equal increments. I know that for moms, that's not always possible. I know it's not for me. Then you're probably going to be doing okay. Enjoy the holiday foods. Like this whole idea of like, well, just don't, if pumpkin pie is your favorite thing in the world, just don't eat it. Like just eat, make something healthier. There's certainly a place for that. And in our house, we make healthier baked goods all the time. Our Mom Fuel Christmas cookies are absolutely amazing. So there are definitely places to replace things, but it's one day. We'll use Thanksgiving as an example. It's one day. So eat and enjoy your Thanksgiving meal. Eat the things that are your favorites, and then just get right back to your normal life the next day. Like we don't have to go burn it all off and all this crazy stuff. Just step right back into your regular normal life, and that one meal is not that impactful. Really, if we can focus on those 3 really heavily nutritious meals throughout the day, throughout the year, not focusing so much on season, off season, holiday season, sports season. There's always a season, right? If we can just normalize kind of our routine as best we can on a daily basis, we'll be doing a lot for our bodies and getting in that everyday movement. If you don't have time to go to the gym, which most moms don't, we have an amazing at-home workout program But if you're even like, no, I can't do that, just go outside and walk. Walk 30 minutes a day in fresh air, even when it's cold. It is so good for your brain and your body and just kind of in stress levels. It's just so imperative, especially during this, like you said, absolutely overwhelming time of the year. I cannot believe that Christmas is in a few weeks.
Yeah, it's just around the corner. So you heard it here, ladies. You can eat all the turkey and honey baked ham that you want this holiday season. Just make sure you get out and walk a couple of miles while you're doing it, and drink your water. Make sure you're
Yes,
definitely
stay
sipping
hydrated.
water.
That matters. Yeah.
Debbie, I'm going to end with you. For some moms, they might be listening to this and they say, okay, hey, I just haven't been on this routine all year, and to the heck with it. I'm just going to go ahead and finish this year and just have a good old time. But a lot of people want to use the new year as that opportunity to change their habits and maybe shift their mindset. What practical advice would you give to that mom? What's that one step that they could take in the new year that would realign them?
I think the goal is simplicity. I think we as women tend to overcomplicate things, chasing like the next shiny object. What's the next newest program, fad, diet? It all feels really sleazy to me. So I think, what can I actually do sustainably for the rest of my life? So if we're starting something January 1st, awesome. We say high five to you. Will you still be able to do it February 1st, March 1st, April 1st? So I think you can start with whatever is manageable for you. I'm going to be biased and say, when you go to our website, you can say, I'm simply going to start with this mom fuel product. I'm just going to focus on protein and nothing else. Or maybe you say, I really need to get consistent with exercise. I'm going to join the Momsanity Sisterhood, do a 15-minute workout, and move on with my life. I think the problem is when we try to overhaul everything and become something that's not realistic as a busy mom, that's when we run into trouble. So it's, how can I keep it simple? Because if we're trying to chase two rabbits, you're going to you're going to catch no rabbits. So chase one rabbit and just stick with what is simple and forever.
Yeah, I think having reasonable expectations is really, really important. Any Black Friday sales for you ladies this week?
Yes, we are. We have some really big things coming. They will be advertised on our website. And I'll just go ahead and say, I'm not sure when this is coming out, but we'll just go ahead and announce it here. Starting on Wednesday, which is, I think, what, the 26th. Wow, it's here. Starting on Wednesday, the 26th, everything on our website, all individual products are 20% off. And if you spend over $100, it is 25%. No coupon codes because that's hard for moms, hard for women. We got so much to remember. It will just automatically be applied at checkout.
And say that website one more time.
Sure. Shop.mymomsanity.com.
And I encourage my audience to go over and check that out. That's our conversation with Momsanity, a woman-owned business doing something powerful by keeping wellness simple, affordable, and grounded in real schedules. If you want to learn more or watch their Fox and Friends feature, I've posted the link on my page. And as always, I want to thank each of you for supporting the show, supporting local businesses, and staying engaged with the issues that matter to our community. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you follow, share, and consider supporting the show so that we can keep creating more conversations like this. Until next time, stay healthy, stay encouraged, and make sure you stay locked in to WTOB, because every Sunday morning, that is where you can lock in with me there. But if you happen to miss me, hopefully you're subscribed to the podcast. You can get that on Apple, Spotify, Pandora, YouTube, wherever you like to get your favorite podcasts. You can always lock in there. And until next time, y'all stay locked in.